Hey there, and welcome. If you've ever been up in the cockpit, looked out at the world, and thought, you know what? I want to teach this feeling, this skill, then you've come to the right place. Think of this as your official mission briefing for becoming a flight instructor. Okay, let's get into it. So, let's start with the big question, the one every experienced pilot has to ask themselves eventually. Are you ready for the right seat? Because it's a whole different world over there. It's not just about flying anymore. It's about teaching, mentoring, and creating the next generation of pilots. Let's see what it takes. You know the drill. Every single flight starts with a solid pre-flight check. Well, your journey to becoming an instructor is exactly the same. So first things first, we've got to pop open that logbook and make sure you've got the flight experience required. What we're looking at are the minimums for what's called the Assistant Flight Instructor Rating, or AFIR. These are the hard and fast requirements set by the DGCA, the Directorate General of Civil Aviation. Think of them as the non-negotiables you've got to meet before your training can even kick off. All right, first big number you need to know, 100. You absolutely must have a minimum of 100 hours of flight time logged as pilot in command. This shows you've got that core experience, that you know how to make the tough calls when you're the one in charge. Now, this is where it gets interesting. It's not just about the total time in your logbook. 20 of those PIC hours have to have been flown within the last 18 months. And why is that? It's all about currency. It makes sure your skills are sharp, that your decision-making is instinct, not a memory you have to dig up from a few years ago. And it gets even more specific when we talk about flying after dark. You're going to need 20 hours of pilot in command time at night. But, and this is important, it's not just about floating around for 20 hours. You also need to have logged 20 takeoffs and 20 landings at night. They want to see that you've mastered the entire process. And just so you can see I'm not making this up, here it is, the official table right from the syllabus. It lays out every single requirement in black and white. These aren't just good ideas or suggestions. These are the standards you'll be measured against, period. All right, so your logbook checks out. You've got the hours, you've got the experience. Fantastic. Let's move on to the really fun part, the actual in-flight training syllabus. This is where you go from being a great pilot to becoming a great instructor. Okay, here's the key thing to understand about this 20-hour syllabus. You're not learning to fly all over again. Far from it. This is about taking the skills you already have and polishing them to a mirror shine so you can demonstrate, explain, and correct tough maneuvers, all from the passenger seat. Now, those 20 hours are structured really, really well. You're going to start by perfecting the fundamentals, things like circuits and steep turns until you can do them in your sleep. Then you'll move up to advanced maneuvers, you'll master emergency drills, and finally, you'll tackle specialized flying. It's designed to build your teaching skills layer by layer. And would you look at that? This gives you an idea of just how detailed we're talking. The full syllabus has 26 specific exercises. I know, it looks like a lot, but every single item is a building block. Mastering this stuff is what's going to let you break it down simply for your own students someday. It's what makes you a truly competent instructor. Okay. So you can fly the plane like a pro, but being able to actually transfer that knowledge to a nervous student sitting next to you, that's a whole different ballgame. And that, my friends, is what ground school is all about. This is where you learn the art of teaching. I absolutely love this quote because it just hits the nail on the head. You can be the most talented pilot on the planet, but if you can't communicate what's in your head, you're not going to be an effective instructor. Ground school builds that bridge. So what exactly are you learning on the ground? Well, you're going to dive into the psychology of how people learn. You'll master how to structure a lesson, how to build a whole training program, and, this is huge, how to spot a student's mistake and correct it without crushing their confidence. These are the real tools of the trade. And to put the job in perspective, check this out. A trainee pilot, they're limited to 6 flying hours a day. But you, as a flight instructor, your maximum jumps to 8 hours. That's a direct reflection of the stamina, the professionalism, and the sheer responsibility that comes with the job. Okay, you've proven your experience, you've aced the flight syllabus, and you've learned how to teach. We're in the home stretch now. There's just one final step, the paperwork. But don't think of it as paperwork. Think of it as filing the flight plan for your brand new career. Let's just make this super simple. Here's your final checklist. You'll need to get your flight safety clearance, a no objection certificate or NOC from headquarters, your completed skill test report, and your flying training progress report, the FTPR. That's it. Just tick those boxes. And once those documents are all filed and approved, well, that's it. You've done the flying, you've passed the tests, you've filed the plan, you are officially on final approach to earning that instructor rating. So we end up right back where we started. But now you see what it takes. The standards are high, the process is demanding, and the responsibility is huge. There's no question you've mastered the art of flying. The real question is, are you ready to use that mastery to inspire the people who come next?